I use discernment and intuition to make the best choices. Now let's sit with that for a second because today we're about to dive deep into how discernment and intuition can help us when we're taking things a little too personal. Hey, friend, hey, welcome to From the Ground to the Crown, where we dig deep, drop gems, and let you know your glow up is already in motion. I'm your host, your girl, Kenisha B. I am here to usher you into the highest versions of yourself. And today we're kicking things off with discernment. Now, here's a card from my Hey Friend Hey affirmation card deck. And today's card is, like I said, discernment. And it says the ability to discern what is and what is not for you keeps you in alignment, friend. Always trust your internal voice and gut feeling. And the affirmation is I use discernment and intuition to make the best choices. Using your discernment is equal to protecting your peace, friend, okay? And after I share all that I'm going to share today, what I want you to leave here knowing is if it don't apply, let it fly. Ready, set, let's grow. Okay, so first I wanted to introduce you to something that I've never done before, and I'll tell you why. I am introducing you to a segment called Root and Rise. It's a point of this episode, it's a point of all the episodes where we're going to unpack something that once had us really, really rooted in the truth. We're going to dig deep into what that root is, hopefully get to an elevated space and a crown protected. Welcome to Root and Rise. Now, this segment of the podcast is where we take a truth, a thought, a question that has rooted in a truth for us. We're going to dig deep into what that root is. And the goal is to get to a crown perspective by the end of the episode. All right. So here is why I decided to do Root and Rise. Some of the beliefs that I once held really, really true as like parts of my identity and, just things that made Kenisha, a lot of those shift and they shifted. And what made my life really, really difficult is holding on to those truths after they were not true for me anymore. It caused a lot of contention in my life. And so Root and Rise is a segment that I want to introduce. And I'm going to be just throwing questions out there. But eventually my goal is to have you guys submit questions to me so that I can respond to them as it is in accordance with like the affirmation or the story or the theme of the episode. So I hope you enjoy this. This is my favorite part because when people ask me questions, I become a vessel for like just the wisdom from my experiences and things that I've lived and recognize the pattern in. And it really, really helps. It's like the nugget, it's the gem. All right, enough about that. Let's get ready for this episode. So again, we're back to discerning. And what I really want to talk about when it comes to discernment and discerning is when you take in all the things from other people, their opinions, their thoughts, their appreciation or lack thereof, when you take all of these things in, you can really internalize it and start to live your life and make decisions based on other people's thoughts. And it's trippy to believe, but that's what we are programmed to do as humans. That's how we come in here. Even as a kid, right? Your mom tells you, don't touch that. And she tells you that through your adolescence and your childhood. And you grow up and you just probably won't touch it because she said, don't do it, right? Some of the things we do, like starting the car to warm it up in the wintertime. Those things once served a purpose, but in today's world with today's cars, it doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Why are we still doing it? Because we've been told, we've been conditioned, and we internalize it, and we keep moving with the same programming, not recognizing that it's not even ours. That's what I mean when I said to you, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you ain't driving an Oldsmobile from 1940, You probably don't gotta warm up your car anymore. It's not even a thing. You're plugging your car in and still talking about you gotta warm it up in the wintertime. Girl, it's electric. Like, what does that even mean? So there are many things that if we peeled back the layers and examined ourselves, that we'd probably get to a point where we recognize and used our discernment and our intuition to tell the truth and to like realize that that truth shifted, that it's no longer ours, that it probably wasn't even ours to begin with. And so I really want to get into that, and I really want to get into the root question of disturb our own peace by internalizing other people's things. Why do we care so much about other people's weight? Why do we carry that baggage with us, and why do we take it so personal? All right, so let me tell y'all a story. And this happened to me when I was in college. My family might be a little upset about the story, but whatever, it's my experience. Okay, so here I am. I am a sophomore. I'm at Howard University, living my best life. I'm broke. Okay, truth of the matter is your girl was broke. It costs a lot to go to college, and it costs even more to like stay there, which I learned the hard way, but I made it. Anywho, I'm in college. I decided one night that I was going to get locks after a traumatic hair experience at like 4 a.m., which I never want to relive again. But it went left, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lock my hair. So one of my friends, she had locks. She was like, yeah, she'll lock my hair for me. Cool. It couldn't tell me nothing. Okay. My hair was permed, and it was twisted at the end. I started with 2-strand twists before YouTube, before Insta, before TikTok, before all these things. I started my locks in 2009. And so it was 2-strand twisted, and it was like straight hair because it was permed and it had a little new growth, whatever. Long story short, I got the locks and I started my hair in October. And I remember going home. I was really excited to show my family my hair. Like I told y'all in previous episodes, my family is Jamaican American. They are from New York though. You know, they rough around the edges. They get down for sure. And so I knew that I was going to take some criticism, but I really wasn't expecting what I got when I got home. So I get on the bus, get to New York, struggling with my bags, finally make it to my aunt's house with my cousins. Everybody's there. I show them my hair, and these people tore through my ass. Okay? I mean, the judgment came down on me. I was ugly. Oh my God, what did I do to myself? Oh my God, I was going to look crazy. Oh my God, is this my ugly phase? Like, oh, I remember just being berated with all the things. And they made your girl really, my feelings were so hurt. Here I am home for the holidays, miss everybody. Like, oh my God, so excited to see you. I know my hair looks a little crazy, but like, embrace it. You know, your girl is going through a phase here. I'm broke. And they just were not letting me live. And then to take it a step further in the story, I ended up, I don't know how my grandma got a picture. She like got word that I locked my hair. And she stopped talking to me, y'all, like my grandmother. It was a few months. I want to say like 3 or 4 months, but your girl was pissed. And we're Jamaican. I'm like, why are y'all being so negative about locks? Like, this is not a part of the culture. I just was so confused. I thought they would be proud. I thought they'd be happy. I did not think that they were going to be ridiculing me for making this cultural aligned decision, right? No one in my family had locks at the time. So and my aunt did years before that, like decade, but whatever. Nobody had them. Everybody was perm princess. Cool. So they judged me. I took it. I swallowed it. I did nothing with it. What I did was create the suggestion box in my life. And this is what I do. When people give me their suggestions, they give me their opinions, they give me whatever judgments, I put it in the suggestion box. And sometimes I decide to open the box. Most times I don't, because it's not for me. Their judgments had nothing to do with I'm not ugly. I was not ugly then. I am not an ugly person now. So I rejected it. My grandma, she got mad and she didn't want to talk to me. She thought I wasn't going to get hired. She was coming from a place of love. But girl, I'm not a boomer. It don't matter. in a suggestion box. Oh, an ugly phase. I think my phases were beautiful. Put the thoughts in the suggestion box, okay? It didn't apply to me, so I let it all fly over my head. And although my locks are short now, I've had my hair since '09, like I said earlier, and this is 2025. So 14 years later, I've done so much with my hair, and every time I say I'm going to comb my hair out or I'm going to cut my locks off, everybody that has some negative things to say about me, they would die if I got rid of my locks right now. They would literally be so crushed about it because they learned to embrace it as I did before they could even like see what I had envisioned for myself, you know? So I, like I said, could have let my whole family take me out. They were me. They were me. I received it like a big girl, okay? And I let it go. And I kept my hair and I kept my money because I didn't have much. And so they could have done many other things, but they decided to give me judgment. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes people don't know how to approach or to receive what you share with them or what you ask them or what you say to them. And they may give you their version of support. They may give you their version of love. And it's not what you need. So if it don't apply, babe, let it fly. It don't have nothing to do with you because no one had any experience with locks in my family. None of them had locks. None of them could tell me anything about locks. The one person who did have locks embraced me in this phase. And so it was just really crazy that these non-lock girlies and guys were being so judgmental about somebody for doing something new, right? And I had to learn to see it that way. And again, back to our like root questions. Why do we carry people's baggage? Why do we hold on to these things, these opinions that are not our own? Why do we hold on to customs that keep us small? Why aren't we using our discernment and our intuition to recognize that these are not for us to carry anymore? It's because we haven't understood that it wasn't ours to begin with. We've taken it as personal, as an attack on ourselves and our being. You know, my hair is a part of my identity. I could have taken that as a personal attack. But the crowned moment came in recognizing that these people were speaking from a place of not wanting me to be hurt. They didn't want me to be judged by people in the outside world for having locks. My grandma didn't want me to lose on job opportunities for having locks. You know, they wanted to protect me. They're my family. That was what they wanted. The way they went about it wasn't the greatest, but that is the truth that I received from it. So when I'm able to recognize that people's judgment has nothing to do with me, when I'm able to release that, it's not personal at all, I can get to a space where I receive it. I add it to my damn suggestion box. I close the suggestion box and I move on with my life and doing what I've decided to do. And that's really the goal, is for us to be able to receive people's in all their words and all their ways and still keep it pushing, because it ain't got nothing to do with what you're here to do. You have a mission and you still got to perform. You still got to live it out, right? But we got to learn to use our discernment for that. We've got to learn to trust our gut when it comes to these things. Because again, all the fears, all that stuff is constantly swirling around us. And if we let it in, if we hold it to ourselves, if we make it a part of our lives, being the person, the girl whose mom always judged her, or being the one whose, siblings always told her she's not pretty enough. If we take that and make it personal, we will turn into the people who other people think we are. That's just how energy works. And who wants to do that? Like, no. Sis, so the next time you share something, or even if you don't share something and you have people's opinions coming at you, you have the suggestion box method that you could use, or you could turn on your discernment filter. And that looks like, asking yourself things like, is this feedback coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of fear or insecurity? And you can use the answer to that question to help you discern. Or you can ask yourself something like, who is providing this feedback? Is it someone you respect or trust? Is it someone whose opinion you actually care about? If it isn't, then why does it matter? It probably don't. Probably doesn't. Okay. And the last thing you can ask yourself is, if I let this go, will it impact my peace in any way? And that's the big one. Okay. Because a lot of this has no bearing on your peace. And it's bringing you chaos because you're allowing it to be chaos in your life. If it don't apply, let it fly. It doesn't have to interrupt your peace. And if you answer no to that question, right? If you let this go, will it impact your peace? You say no, let it go. It's done. It's over. Okay. So use your discernment filter. Ask those types of questions to yourself and take your time with it. This is all a process. You have to pause, and you want to be able to reflect and to ask yourself, okay, what does this opinion really mean? How much weight do I need to give it? Like I said, who is saying something to me, right? And ask yourself, is it yours to carry? And if it's not yours to carry, chances are your intuition will have already nudged you and be like, girl, you're tripping. And sometimes we ignore it. Sometimes we don't have a very healthy relationship with our intuitions. All of that can be true. But you always know that it's not for you. And whether you decide to trick yourself out of that is totally on you. But, check in with yourself, ask yourself the questions, make sure you pause, make sure you reflect and just take it all in before you make any judgments or, take on the baggage as your own. Okay. So I just want to remind you, friend, you do not have to carry anything that is not yours. You can let it all go. Doesn't matter how long you've been carrying it. Doesn't matter who you're carrying it for. You can literally let it go. Okay. And we want to have discerning energy, right? We want to be a person who uses our discernment. Reminding you of this affirmation. I use discernment and intuition to make the best choices. So if you had to sit down and reflect with yourself, what is something that you've had to unlearn and rise above? And if you can remember that time or that experience, it will give you more motivation to keep using your discernment and to keep letting go shit that is not yours to carry. Because that's what I use. I really want to hear from you, though. What is something that you've had to unlearn and rise above? Feel free to DM me on Instagram or comment under the podcast. I really want to engage, and I want to hear from you. So DM me at it's Kenisha B. Like I said, drop me a note under this podcast episode. And let's keep this conversation going because we are never alone in this. So many of us have the same stories and the same, experiences. And so let's share it, right? And build this beautiful community together. That is it, my loves. That is the end of another episode of From the Ground to the Crown. I am, again, your girl, Kenisha B. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for journeying with me in this discernment story. And I hope that the Root and Rise segment is something that you hold near and dear to you because I hold it near and dear to me. Go ahead and share this episode with somebody who needed this message. I know I usually need a reminder, and I'm sure you know somebody out there who's still holding on to people's stuff. And you want to remind them to let it go. If it don't apply, let it fly. So share this with them because we don't need them out here taking things personally at all. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode of the podcast. Make sure to keep the conversation going with me. Like I said, follow me on socials, on Instagram and Threads at It's Kenisha B. I am so grateful for your love. Thank you for showing up for yourselves and showing up with me. Until next time, my loves, ready, set, let's grow. Peace.